Alright guys, this is where we started, and sadly, well, not so sad right now, but sadly, this is where we'll end today. 7 days, we never got to know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 how it actually passed. Well, this is the last day today of the Auto Expo 2016. We are here at the Audi Pavilion, and well, it's early in the morning. People are not ready, not yet geared up for what's in store today. Of course, the 7th day. Well, it's been a lovely time at Audi, and let's quickly tell you a little more about the cars. Once again, quite a few of the cars out here have already made it. A few of them will make their way soon to India, and some of them, unfortunately, will never make it to India, or might never make it to reality. But let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best of things each time, and let's continuously hope that Audi keeps on getting better and better and better. And we are with Audi. We are Audi lovers. We are Audi fans. We are enthusiasts. Let's just tell you a little more about what's there at the Audi Pavilion for 2016. Once more, it's just a video before the final wrap. So it's a starting time, and let's tell you about the Audi A6 All-Road. Well, this is a 3-liter bi-turbo. Well, about bi-turbos, this is a V6. It's not a twin-turbo. The difference between a twin-turbo and a bi-turbo is that in a bi-turbo, a turbocharger is mounted to 3 cylinders, basically one side of the V shape if it's a V6, and one side of 4 cylinders if it's a V8. So this one, being a V6 bi-turbo, has one turbocharger towards 3 cylinders and the other one towards the other 3. Well, it's an all-road quattro, so basically this has the best of being a sedan, the space of a sedan, the dimensions of a sedan, and it's an all-roader, which also means it's pretty good as an SUV as well. Well, this is the 0 to 100 time is quite slow, if you might say. Quite slow, really. Should I tell you the 0 to 100 time? Well, it's 5.5 seconds. You call it slow? Well, that's a completely inappropriate word which has been used. It's actually the less faster of the ones that are actually here at the Audi Pavilion. So that's all about the A6 All-Road Quattro. This car may not be here in India. Of course, the A6 is here, but not the A6 All-Road Quattro. Well, it's an 8-speed Tiptronic. Let's tell you more about different cars now. Did I also mention that this is 650 Nm of torque and 320 PS of power. Alright, so let's take you to another car which is under wraps right now. This is the Audi Prologue concept. Well, this is one car which has a very different design, but these designs, you might not be surprised if you see these designs in future in one of the luxury sedans at Audi itself. Well, I can't show you right now, but if you and when you notice, you would, that there are no door handles to this car. So the only thing which is actually used to open the door is your fingerprint. It scans your finger and it opens the door if you have the authority to it. That's what the car decides for you. And it shares the similar 4-liter bi-turbo engine with 605 horses of power, and along with that 750 Nm of torque, which is a lot. It also has a 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds, but this car is still not in production, so don't ask us the price of this car. It's a very interesting thing which people say about this car. It's just that if somebody asks the price of this car, we say, sir, if you can actually find the door handles, we'll tell you the price of this car. Well, that's smart enough out here. So moving on to another car, moving on to the Audi RS7. This is the fastest RS that Audi has on offer. It's a 4-liter bi-turbo engine. Once again, I've told you what a bi-turbo is. This is the RS7 Performance, which is actually here. The RS7 is already in India, which churns out 560 HP of power. This one, being up-tuned further for performance, is a 605 HP along with 700 Nm of torque. It does a 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds flat. Well, a V8 bi-turbo comes in with a 7-speed S-tronic. Certainly, this is one car that you blink and you certainly miss. Well, now let's go on to the beauty, the Vegas yellow beauty. Well, why do people confuse it with the R8? Because that is the R8, which is again Vegas yellow, and this is the Audi TT Coupe, which is here at the Expo 2016. It's a 2-liter TFSI engine, and it goes from a 0 to 100 in 5.3 seconds. It's got a 6-speed S-tronic, and this also has lended its platform to the S3, which is only 0.1 second slower than the Audi TT Coupe at 5.4 seconds for a 0 to 100. So both of these cars also share the 6-speed S-tronic transmission. 0 to 100, it's 0.1 second. I mean, the TT is 0.1 second faster. Well, what more do we tell you about this car? Both of them share a 2-liter TFSI. And moving on to the different car, and take a look at the alloys first of all. Well, the alloys of the TT again. Do not expect these alloys here. These are 21-inch alloys. Out here in India, you'll get 18-inch alloys. You would not want to know why that is happening. Well, apparently we don't have an answer right now. So, what an amazing car this is. One of my personal favorites out here. Telling you more about the Q5, huh? Did you call it the Q5? Well, even I did initially, so you're forgiven for that, because this is not the Q5. This is the S version of the Q5. Well, this is the Audi SQ5. S means similar type for a more sportier variant. So it's got even more sportier variant out here, which is the SQ5. Comes in with 6-speed Tiptronic. So this SQ5 shares the same transmission as the A6 All-Road Quattro. Comes in with an 8-speed Tiptronic. 0 to 100 surprisingly is 5.1 seconds. Yes, you heard it right. It's faster than the TT Coupe. It's faster than the A6 All-Road Quattro. It's faster than the S3, and it's in fact even faster than the new A4. Well, why is that? Because it has 313 PS of power, and along with that it has a whopping 750 Newton meters of torque. Well, yes, you've heard it right, 750 Newton meters of torque, which is in fact even more than the RS7, which is actually here right now. It is even more than the RS7 Performance. Well, that is a lot of torque. So that makes it fly, literally fly past. But of course, it stays on the road because it's an SUV as well. It's a very, very, very powerful SUV. Now let's come to the S3 Cabriolet. Well, doesn't this look like pretty much like the A3 Cabriolet? Yes, it does, because this is a sportier version of the A3 Cabriolet. But what's so sporty about it? Well, I'll tell you what is so sporty about this car. The sporty part is a 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds. Well, that is superbly sporty, isn't that? With a 2-liter TFSI engine, this car is really quite fast. So we've talked about the transmission of this car already. It has a 6-speed S-tronic and 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds flat. Well, that is really, really fast. Alright, moving on to this red beauty out here. This is the A4 3-liter TDI. Well, this has been announced, but it's yet to be released. It's yet to be launched in India. So don't ask for the price, and don't even ask for these alloys. well, of course, ask for everything else which is there in the car, except for this engine, which we guys are not very sure of right now. So Audi is keeping it a secret whether this 4-liter, whether this 3-liter TDI is going to come to India or not. Well, so what's about this particular car? It's got an 8-speed Tiptronic transmission. It's a TDI engine, which we already know. What's new is that this car gets a virtual cockpit. So with a virtual cockpit, what we get is a lot of driving pleasure while you're driving, and well, a 0 to 100 in 5.3 seconds. It makes it a very, very fast sedan, doesn't it? With 272 PS of power and 600 Nm of torque, of course. This is what is a lot of fun. Alright, so what we're looking at now is the Audi Q7. Well, this is the 3-liter TDI, which is up-tuned pretty much like the 4.2 was. Well, let's not even compare the 4.2 and the 3-liter, but tell you what, the 3-liter TDI really does feel and remind you of the previous 4.2 TDI which was used in the previous Q7. Take a look at these alloys. Don't even ask for these alloys. Well, I'm not sure when they'll come to India. Right now, they are not a part of the Indian vehicle which is launched here. Take a look at how beautiful this car looks. And if you ask me what's different from the old Q7, well, tell you what, everything is actually different in this car. Everything, be it the exterior, the interior, the engine, the specifications, everything is completely different in this car. Take a look at the hexagonal shape 3D grille. Well, doesn't this add to the looks of the car? For sure it does. For sure it does. And this Q7 now has matrix beam headlamps. Well, they were there in the Audi A8L, they were there in the Audi R8. It now is a part of the flagship SUV, the Audi Q7. So, if you take a look at the sides, we also see more of Audi signature linings. So it makes it pretty more aggressive to look at. More of the linings are there, and it makes it a lot of fun to look at. It looks pretty much more like the Audi which we guys know. Of course, Quattro GmbH has put its own standards out here, and we can actually see those things. We can see it even more when we open the car. Take a look at the lights at the rear, with the dynamic rear indicators being a part of the new Q7. I can't show you the indicators right now, but yes, they feel like they're actually breathing, and in their own way, that's how you tell the world that I am moving towards the right or towards the left. With 249 PS of power and 600 Nm of torque, this car is really fantastic to drive. And tell you what, take a closer look at the third row of seats. Well, these seats, you might miss them in the Q7. Why would you miss them? How would you miss them? Well, you might miss them, you might not. You might not. Why am I repeating this? Is it crazy? Well, because just at the touch of a button, all you get is foldable seats. So the third row of seats are foldable. Yes, you heard that right. Just at the touch of a button, you can fold these seats, and if you want them, keep them up. If you don't, keep them down. Take a look at the middle row now, and of course you see the panoramic roof, the panoramic sunroof connected to it. So of course, when you feel like, open the panoramic sunroof, and what you also might notice is that there's more headroom for the middle row. Well, I'll also tell you about the specifications once again for this car. This Audi is slightly, but just slightly shorter than the previous Audi Q7. It's slightly narrower, just slightly narrower again. It's slightly taller than the previous Audi Q7, and it's a lot lighter. It's at 325 kilometers, with 325 kilograms lighter than the previous Audi Q7. This car certainly becomes the lightest in its class. and it also becomes very, very, very fuel efficient.